Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. Today we would like to present a conceptual paper with the title of Growing Gigs, a conceptual report on job autonomy and work engagement on gig workers' performance. My name is Farhana Hanim binti Mohsin, and another co-authors in this paper are Nur Hayati Maisa, Azian Awi, and Nur Faiz Burhanuddin. We are all from University Tunku Abdul Rahman. Without further ado, let's look at the discussions of this paper. This is an introduction of this study. Gig work is a rising sector of the non-standard workforce. In Malaysia, around 30% of the workforce, or 5 million individuals, reportedly engage in the gig economy. Some entered the gig economy to supplement their income, while others rely on it exclusively. The growth of digital platforms has increased this job. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit and many got laid off, some turned to this type of work to make a living. It is also driven by the flexibility to choose the type of work, and the money too can be attractive. Furthermore, the flexibility and casualizations of work have motivated these workers to choose such a sector. As a result, it is not surprising that the government has recognized the gig economy as a new source of economic growth that will be included in the 12th Malaysia Plan 2021 until 2025, contributing to the country's gross domestic product (GDP). The gig economy has the advantage of flexibility and being your own boss. Some people prefer greater autonomy and control, earn money while looking for a better job, balance career and family needs, or want to earn extra money on the side. We expect that such arrangement of gig work may facilitate work engagement among gig workers, as gig workers will be more engaged and therefore more productive if they are aware of the ways in which they contribute. With regard to gig workers' performance, this poses an essential question. To what extent does the lack of formal organizational support for gig workers, that is, in a platform organization, affect work engagement and performance? The goal of this conceptual paper is to study the work engagement of gig workers' performance under different levels of job autonomy. Building on our framework, we utilize the job demand resources JDR model to further extend our notion on gig work. Now let's look at the concept of gig economy. Many have been drawn to the introductions of new business models which are made possible by digital platforms. As a result of its rapid expansion, the platform economy now encompasses a diverse range of digitally mediated economic transactions, including the exchange of goods and services, for example, Grab, Airbnb, and Foodpanda. Taylor et al. 2017 defined the gig economy as people who offer their labor through platforms. The gig economy is comprised of two types of employment: work that is transacted through platform but provided locally, necessitating the actual presence of the worker, and work that is transacted and delivered remotely through platform. The rise of gig work allows workers to combine work with a variety of life situations and choices, thereby increasing productivity while also allowing workers to create a good balance between work and other commitments. As per job autonomy is defined as an individual's level of autonomy in determining how work is completed, which includes making decisions about the type of procedures to use. An employee can choose his or her own work schedule as a result of this. The individual willingness to practice independence at work determines his or her ability to do so, which is in turn determined by his or her experience, enthusiasm, and expertise. Job autonomy is a psychological need that allows people to enjoy their work, and according to Heckman and Oldham, 1976, this leads to a psychological state of responsibility for work outcomes, which is a state that indicates how much personal responsibility each person has for the outcome of his work. Now let us see on the concept of work engagement. Work engagement is defined as a positive, fulfilling work-related state of mind that is characterized by vigor, dedication, and absorption. Work engagement is not a fleeting state of mind, rather it is a constant state of mind that is not specifically centered on a particular object, event, individual, or behavior. Work engagement can be broken down into three dimensions: vigor, dedications, and absorptions. Vigor is a term that relates to an employee's mental state, which is defined by a high degree of energy, resilience, readiness to invest work, and persistence in the face of obstacles. Dedication is defined by an employee's passions and pride for their work, the sense of inspiration gained from their employment, and an overall sense of significance associated with their work. Absorption is a state of mind in which an employee is intensely focused and absorbed by his or her work. One finds it difficult to disengage oneself from the work itself as time passes by quickly. Employees who are engaged in their jobs demonstrate a favorable attitude towards their job on all levels, physically, mentally, and cognitively. They also demonstrate a desire to devote their complete attentions to their job. As a result, work engagement is thought to be associated with job performance since it denotes an energetic and highly motivated state that leads an individual's effort toward the completion of work tasks and activity. Work engagement becomes a desirable feature for both individuals and organizations as a result of this positive characteristic. As for employee performance is the concern of an employee's efforts in terms of quality and quantity in carrying out his duties in line with the obligation entrusted to him. Fuertes et al. 2020 points out that employees' performance is linked to each employee's successes in accordance with the organization's or employer's various rules, laws, or expectations. Likewise, Kalogianidis 2002 hold the views that employee performance is often defined by an employee's attitude while completing a task that has been assigned by the employer. It also refers to the outcome that a specific employee delivers within an organization. Simply said, employee performance refers to how well a member of staff perform their job duties, complete tasks, and behave in the workplace. Fuertes et al. 2020 emphasized that outstanding employee performance is essential in providing high-quality services to customers and increasing firm profitability. This benefit of better employee performance are expected to lead to a long-term competitive advantage in the long run. Employee performance has been studied for decades in a variety of situations across different disciplines and cultures with the goal of better understanding the behaviors, concepts, and resources that improve performance. In a nutshell, prioritizing employee performance, on the other hand, helps the firm as well as the employees. It allows employees to reach their full potentials while also improving overall performance, which may enhance morale and improve job quality. Now let us see on JDR model. For this conceptual paper, we basis our model by using the notion of JDR model. The job demand resources burnout model (JDR) model is commonly used to describe how burnout symptoms emerge. According to the JDR model, there are two sets of working circumstances that describe all employment, regardless of industry or occupations. The physical, psychological, social, or organizational characteristic of a work that needs sustained physical, cognitive, or emotional effort or abilities are referred to as job demand. This paradigm distinguishes between two sorts of workplace effect. Demand is a catch-all phrase for a variety of factors that contribute to stress, strain, and tiredness, including emotionally charged circumstances, cognitively demanding activities, conflict with superiors, co-workers, and clients, time constraint, and long working hours. An unfavorable physical environment, emotionally exhausting interactions, or fast-paced heavy workload are examples of job demands. On the other side, resources such as helpful peers and superiors, chances of personal growth, being a part of decision making, and having control and autonomy over work organizations may help all people cope with working chores. Physical, psychological, social, and organizational component of the jobs are examples of job resources that assist employees to deal with difficult situations, boost motivation, and inspire personal growth and development. We pose two hypotheses for this study. Hypothesis 1, job autonomy positively affect employee performance. The impact of job autonomy on employee performance can be demonstrated in a variety of ways. A broader perspective has been explained by Koshnov and Elevai 2020, who argues that job autonomy has a positive impact on employee performance when the person's knowledge, skill, and abilities KSA are high, whereas job autonomy has minimal impact on employee performance when the employee's KSA is low. It is also noted that individuals who had a lot of job autonomy had a more positive attitudes towards their workplace and service climate. Overall, there seems to be some evidence to indicate that there is a strong link between job autonomy and job performance as indicated by several studies. Hence, based on this, we posit that job autonomy positively affects employee performance. As for the second hypothesis, work engagement mediates the relationship between job autonomy and employee performance. This paper posits that work engagement serves as a mediating variable between job autonomy and employee performance based on the JDR model. Two interconnected psychological processes are suggested by the JDR model, one that leads to burnout due to the demanding features of job, for example, overwork, emotional pressure, and etc., and another that leads to engagement due to personal resources, for example, autonomy, learning opportunities, and etc. Job resources are factors that assist individuals in dealing with this demand, and they include social and supervisory support, developmental possibilities, and autonomy, amongst other things. While the JDR model posits that job demand and resources directly influence employee engagement, it also suggests that these factors can interact to shape employee work engagement. Researchers have discovered that when employees are presented with high job demand, the effect of job resources on work engagement become more apparent and develop motivating potential, indicating that job resources can aid in goal attainment, resulting in improved employee performance. We expand on this idea by looking at how job autonomy affects employee performance indirectly through work engagement. As such, we hypothesize work engagement mediate the relationship between job autonomy and employee performance. To test the proposed hypothesis, individuals working in the gig economy in Malaysia will be contacted. The data will be gathered using a questionnaire survey that will be distributed via email or face-to-face to respondents selected using convenient sampling. Due to the study's sensitivity, we will ensure the anonymity and confidentiality of their responses. To measure job autonomy, Morgeson and Humphrey 2006 instrument will be used. The three-item surveys included items such as I have made my own decisions about how to schedule my work. I have made decisions about what method I would use to complete my work. I have had a chance to use my initiative or judgment in carrying out my work. All of the measurement for each skill were based on a 5-point Likert scale. Utrecht Work Engagement Scale (US) Scheffeli et al. 2002 will be used to measure work engagement. The US includes three subscales that reflect the underlying dimension of engagement. Vigor 6 items, dedications 5 items, and absorption 6 items. Example items are at my job I feel strong and vigorous. I'm enthusiastic about my job, and when I'm working I forget everything else around me. To measure employee performance, KO et al. 2006, KO et al. 2016 instrument will be used. The 6-item survey included items such as I almost always perform better than an acceptable level, and I usually put extra effort into my job. All the measurements for each scale were based on a 5-point Likert scale. As for conclusion, with the JDR model as a primary framework, this study proposed a direct and indirect mediating relationship between job autonomy and work engagement with employee performance. The conceptual model described in this paper is still conceptual and has not been empirically studied. However, this paper shows that work engagement warrants much more research and analysis in order to establish a link between it and employee performance. For engaged employee, it is much more than the money that motivates them to work hard, but the dedications they have towards their job that drive them to be passionate, which is often demonstrated in their performance outcome. Modern firms nowadays require employees who are psychologically attached to their work, capable and willing to immerse themselves fully in their responsibility, and who are devoted to high quality performance standards. They require people that are enthusiastic and dedicated to their job, who are actively engaged in their work. Additionally, we have included job autonomy as a resource in the JDR model notions and recommend that job autonomy stimulates work engagement, which then results in performance. In the end, we want to stress the centrality of rising gig workers. It is noted that gig workers have the opportunity to highly flexible and possibly autonomous work, but they also have to cope with issues that arise as a result of the nature of their work, its precarious nature, and their connections with the platform businesses. Organizational research has typically focused on traditional work environment in which workers are employed by a single company and work in a certain place for a specific number of hours each day. Despite being a small portion of the workforce, the gig economy is the fastest expanding area of alternative work arrangement. However, workers' work engagement and their personalized motivations are poorly understood despite its rise. As a result, this study provides a basis for furthering the literature, paving the road for the future research to better understand gig workers using the JDR model. With that, that is all for our presentations. Thank you for listening.